Welcome to Because It's Comics. With 5 new releases, I break down the art and the story and give you genuine and thoughtful ratings between 0 or 5 stars. Let's get into some reviews.
Wow, so you really out here getting your ass beat in the streets now, Wody?
Huh?
Huh? Honda? Nah, I drive a Lexus. But, you out here getting your ass beat, though, bro?
What?
What? Water? Nah, I ain't thirsty.
Bitch, I just bought a pistol and the Tory Lanez mixtape. You better get to the fucking point.
The point is your white neck, thick, dumb midget ass is making us look bad taking L's.
Bitch, I ain't never in my life took an L in these
Dude,
motherfucking
what's
streets.
this on Snapchat?
Try Jesus, not me.
What street was that, Logan?
When the fuck he had time to take a selfie?
Where was that at?
That ain't the full story.
So if we summarize the full story, would it end up you being laid out in the alley?
You know what, bitch? Fuck you. I ain't got...
Speaking of fucking, our affair is open.
What you mean?
I'ma be real. Knowing you got your ass beat is a turned off. Right now I'm drying in Summer Walker's tub.
Oh, what? Oh my God.
Our first book up for review is Spider-Man and Wolverine #2 with writer Mark Guggenheim and artist Kari Andrews. Spider-Man and Wolverine is turning out to be the surprise series of the summer. If you haven't read the first issue, if you can still find it, definitely go pick that one up for the surprise ending. Definitely want to read that before reading book 2, as it just starts off this next issue with a banger. If you don't know by now, there are no spoilers during these reviews. So before I begin talking about why you should pick up Spider-Man and Wolverine #2, just remember there's a whole lot of context that's definitely going to be left out of this particular review for this issue. With that said, let's begin with the art for this issue. The art in particular for Spider-Man and Wolverine is just some of the things that just really throw you back into the world of comics, of that dynamicism, action packed, just over the top, sketchings and panels that make issue #2 a whole lot of fun. And one of the things I really think that needs to come back to comics, and not to go down memory lane or anything, it's just having more fun with these characters and their over the top abilities and over the top problems that they encounter throughout their adventures. Kari Andrews' artwork in issue 2 keeps you so attentive and intrigued that before you know it, the book seems like it's over with in a minuscule amount of time. And also, I'll credit that to writer Mark Guggenheim, who does a great job in this particular issue, not necessarily a whole lot of dialogue that occurs between the characters involved. His setup for the story makes makes for the action that uh, Andrews uh, goes on to um, display in each panel. Uh, um, one one exciting thrill after the next. What you get in this issue is more is less. However, it's done with over the top visual um, sensory overload. Overload. What I mean by that is, um, while Andrews doesn't go for um, uh, the most detailed depictions uh, of the action that occurs in this issue, while it's simple and when I say simple, I don't mean that in a unflattering way. I mean, you can look at the how the characters are drawn and know that that there was great care done in making sure each panel showcases what's happening um, in that particular sequence. However, um, and again, it's I try not to compare artists, but say for instance, like if you take um, someone like a McFarlane, who hasn't drawn in a while. However, if you compare it to like the early work of the Todd McFarlane, you, you would know that um, that again, it was each panel is not going for just this very detailed depiction of Wolverine or Spider Man, but more getting to the point of you as a reader uh, from the outside looking in, observing um, the the interaction between the characters at times, and it works. I mean, it just works for this book. It I'm at a loss for words of just describing like how beautifully drawn in its simplicity, yet still manages to give you this feeling of what am I looking at? This display is just um, uh, uh, just like a zenith uh, um, of 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 artistry. Um, I can't say enough about the series so far. First two books have been great. If it continues to go down this path, this may be a winner for one of the best series of the summer. With that said, I give Spider-Man and Wolverine #2 4 stars.
Come play.
Hello?
Next book up for review is Charlemagne the God Presents Illuminati #1, with writer Brian Edward Hill and art by Dennis Cowan. I'm not the biggest fan of Charlemagne the God. However, I will credit him for bringing together this team of Black creators to, I guess, present a book that he's had an idea or wanted to have a story written for. So I'll give him credit for going to Brian Edward Hill, and Dennis Cowan for helping them with that vision. For a first effort, Illuminati is basically uh, a decent book. The story, well, I felt was short and at times lacked some details to, I guess, have keep me more involved as a reader. I will say that the art and um, the general the general narrative that's presented is enough to make me want to read the second issue. Uh, Again, I am a fan of Brian Edward Hill and Dennis Cowan, and they did not disappoint uh, with their collaborative team up. I think Illuminati has potential. Again, there's still a lot to be determined just based on the first issue. However, there's enough. Um, there's enough of a story there to warrant seeing what's going to happen next. And again, I don't know how much Charlemagne contributed as far as the the story he wants to tell or believes that would garner interest. Um, um, in this particular book, uh, I am aware that he is a fan of comics. So just because you're an enthusiast uh, about a certain medium doesn't necessarily mean the talent is always going to be there. Nonetheless, I can't rule out whether it is or not at this point. I will say this: uh, uh, Brian Edward Hill could have tightened up a few things as far as the first issue development goes, but it's not a slight against him. I think, and again, this is speculation on my part, that trying to incorporate somebody else's vision um, for what they're wanting to see brought to a comic book. And again, I know he's a writer. He's known for um, helping helping people get their vision across, whether that's screenwriting, uh, comic book writing, whatever. Um, I just thought he could have tightened up a few details in again in this first part. Nonetheless, um, I won't um, I won't uh, take away too much from um, issue number one, uh, because again, there's a potential there somewhere, and hopefully it will um, come across in the issues to follow. With all of that said, I'm going to start by rating Illuminati number one 2 stars.
Yep, we in a barbershop. This is a Hollywood fact. If there's more than 5 black people in the script, there's going to be a barbershop involved. I saw a movie about the apocalypse, nigga. Who the fuck need a lineup when the world ended?
Woo-wee! Your hairline is fucked up. I ain't seen a hairline that bad since Dr. King. Boy, who the hell cut your hair, boy? Let's jump him. He in here? He need to be fired. That barber need to give out free hats. Is you that blade, nigga? Or did you take a blade to your hairline, boy? My wife has terrible arthritis. Terrible arthritis. And anytime she cuts a piece of peach cobbler, it comes out looking like your hairline, boy.
Nigga, leave me alone. They got Beijing in here. It's Beijing.
Is this what I marched for, son?
Next book up for review is Absolute Green Lantern number 4, with writer Al Ewing and artist Janoy Lindsay. My first 3 reviews of Absolute Green Lantern, I admitted that I was disappointed in what the book had presented thus far. In issue number 4, I don't know if Ewing has heard my petitions to improve the story pacing. However, I must admit that issue number 4 is a step up from what has previously been presented in Absolute Green Lantern. I'm going to talk mostly about the writing for the issue, and that the art, while I still believe could be vastly improved, it wasn't entirely bad. And so I'll have to give credit to Janoy Lindsay for making the book a little bit more dynamic and interesting in this single issue. While Ewan is still slowly moving the story along, things are starting to come together. There are details that are revealed. There's a relationship dynamic that is somewhat delved into during this issue that I greatly appreciated. Ewing is, for the most part, I guess, spinning a tale of without giving away any spoilers. He seems to be spinning a tale of ordinary people or folk that are about to embark upon something that is not only cosmic, but beyond anything they've ever faced or encountered before. And I mean, of course, in the regular or the traditional DC universe, that is the tale for most Green Lanterns, is that their lives are changed forever by becoming these superpowered, in a sense, intergalactic cops or guardians of the universe. And we can see, I mean, that Ewing is going that route, but he's approaching it from an aspect, I think, that has not been entertained before, and that is not only from this unexplainable force or development in science, but I believe from what I've read so far, that the incorporation of dark magics and arts will come into play. Again, that's my speculation. This issue does not really delve too deep into that, but and that's not a spoiler, it does seem to be leaning towards that direction. Again, at 4 issues, I did have the expectation of being further along with this book, but I'm not disappointed with issue 4 at all. In fact, this issue is slowly starting to restore my belief in what Ewan is capable of bringing to an epic tale. We're not quite there yet because it is only 4 issues, but it looks like moving forward, where we as readers are about to see Green Lanterns, forgive the pun, in a different light. And having said that, I give Absolute Green Lantern number 4 3 stars. next issue up for review is Miles Morales' Spider-Man, number 35, with writer Cody Ziegler and art by Marco Renna. I have to say that Cody Ziegler, since taking the helm of Miles Morales' Spider-Man, has been one of my favorite writers on the book. It is also my opinion that he has had one of the most successful runs in um, depicting Miles Morales Spider-Man um, since the inception of the title. Um, he's done some creative things with Miles that uh, has made my time reading this book and following it for the past 35 issues um, just a, a, a treat from month to month. Having said that, um, I think his collaboration with Marco Renna has also been tremendous. I believe their styles mesh well for the type of storytelling um, that Cody Ziegler um, likes to um, detail or convey to the readers that he's particularly aiming for in this title. Having said all that, I do believe that um, Ziegler has reached a point to where he might need to take a break away from the Miles Morales title. And I only say that because while his latest arc or narrative that he's presenting with the War of the Gods or whatever, um, I can I can sense uh, I can sense a bit of fatigue on Ziegler's part, in that um, all the hurdles and obstacles that he's had to deal with since being on the title, as far as dealing with crossovers, incorporating storylines that I don't necessarily think um, were initially uh, in his plans for writing, but being um, the soldier that he is, as far as his writing is concerned, um, he has marched through those things and has given us uh, some decent to almost uh, perfect stories in this book, in this run in particularly. I think he's latched on to something here with bringing in the Nazi character and how his relationship with Miles um, is um, portrayed uh, in this issue. It makes it adds a certain element or unexpected element to the book that I believe uh, could have been missed had he not uh, again taking the reins of the title uh, almost 2.5 years ago. Uh, as far as this specific issue is concerned, it's not one of his best efforts. The story is decent enough, um, but I also believe that um, again, either um, he has reached the point of um, fatigue or nearing the end of a run of his run on this particular title. Uh, and don't get me wrong, I would love to see Cody Ziegler remain on the book, but I just think with all that's been asked of him as far as Miles is concerned, as far as Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, and then some of the Deadpool crossover storylines, that um, it may be time for him to um, uh, refresh his palate, so to say, and start uh, a new run with another character, if he so chooses. Again, I don't wish to see him leave the book, but I do believe uh, that um, he's warranted some time away from Miles Morales' Spider-Man, and it may be um, in the future, a couple years or a year or so from now, he he would return to give us uh, an either an even more uh, creative run when it comes to this title. With that said, um, sticking strictly with issue 35. Issue 35 um, um, again, not one of the um, most creative stories he's told, but still interesting enough if you're a regular reader, if you have this book on your pull list, that you want to um, continue, uh, if not only to keep your collection complete um, throughout his run. With that said, I'm giving Miles Morales Spider-Man number 35 2 stars. Our next book up for review is Gehenna Naked Aggression number 1 by writer Patrick Kinlan and artist Maurizio Rosenzweig. Let me first start off by saying that this book makes no qualms about uh, the naked aggression part of the title. Um, there are a lot of asses highlighted throughout the book, and that is to be known um, before you purchase it. However, this is not, uh, at least in the first issue, not a book that is um, strictly focused on um, the sexuality or the uh, attractiveness of the characters. While it does play a role in somewhat in this first issue, uh, looks can be deceiving because in Gehenna, Naked Aggression, there's actually the start of a pretty good story. Um, this is another one of those surprise books that when I picked it up off the shelf, um, of course, I noticed the art style. Um, it has it's very unique. It is a bit stylistic uh, in its own right, in that uh, Mauricio Rosenzweig um, gives it a certain character um, throughout the panels. Um, Again, as you can see as I'm scrolling, um, this is a book that's going to highlight um, uh, certain features of the female character. Now, what is the shocker? Not really a shocker, but just the um, the surprising uh, aspect of Gehenna, Naked Aggression number one, is that there is actually a pretty good story being told, and it's being done without a tremendous um, amount of exposition or dialogue. Like, you jumping into this first issue, you get a sense of what's going on immediately, and it it's a bit intriguing. It is. The writer leaves room for us to uh, care um, more about this character, who we have absolutely no history background with starting. Like, this is just this is just an ordinary woman. Well, not drawn quite so ordinary, but there's no flash to her as far as there being some kind of superhero aspect or anything. All we know is that uh, this is an attractive badass, no pun intended, with a gun. And I can't give away um, spoilers because we don't do spoilers on this channel. However, uh, I believe, given a chance, you take your time, uh, give it the time um, necessary to get through the first issue, you will discover that uh, this may turn out to be quite a formidable um, narrative than what you're expecting. At least it was in my case. The only thing I will say is that the character does remind me of sort of like a Punisher type in a sense, but not too far um, off on the deep end of say like a Frank Castle. Just that um, you are um, immediately aware that this character knows how to not only take care of himself but take care of business as far as when it comes to saying administering street level tactics. All in all, uh, again, the artist is going for something, and the writer is actually using that. Um, I guess that carrot on a stick to lure you in and uh, keep you along for the ride. So definitely pick up Gehenna #1 um, if you have the chance. And I'm giving it a rating of 4 stars.
What the fuck is happening, bro? Nigga, you water? Yeah, you thought this shit was a game, huh? Look, bro. We ain't even gotta do this shit, bro. Like, this shit crazy. Look, I'm coming to you as a man, bro.
I'm not trying to hear that shit now.
Well, hold on, bro. What? Black Lives Matter, bro.
You black? Yes. How many scented candles does your auntie own?
What? The fuck you talking about?
Just answer the question.
I don't. Look, she probably got like 1 or 2 or something.
The correct answer is 35.
What? Fuck you.
Man, what the hell?
The fuck wrong with you?
The fuck, man? Did you pee in me?
What?
Did you take a piss in me?
What? No.
Then why am I warm?
I don't know, bro. Maybe because it's summer.
No, that's bullshit. I keep a constant temperature of 60 degrees Celsius.
Celsius?
Yes, Celsius. And I know when I'm pissed in.
Well, I didn't pee in you, my guy.
Yes, you did. I could smell the pee-pee.
You smell?
I smell like a romantic weekend with R. Kelly.
Bro, don't bring up R. Kelly. He ain't got nothing to do
He
with it.
pees on people.
That's the king of R&B,
He's
though.
the king.
Next book up for review is Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion #2 with writers Dennis Camp and Cody Ziegler and art by Jonas Scharf. In issue 2 of Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, there is a much improved story in regards to the first issue. Now, a couple of things with this book. While the writing by Dennis Camp and Cody Ziegler seems to be at a decent pace, the art, however, to me, I had some issues with. First, let me begin by saying that the art is not terrible. It's not. In fact, it's actually quite good as far as the artist's use of, I guess, his lines and symmetry when it comes to drawing the backgrounds, things of that nature. Sticking with the story first, though, we do see some progress and Miles um, getting closer to his reason for being in the ultimate universe in the first place. Um, so that was a much needed upgrade and improvement from story one, where at times in the first issue, uh, it seemed like he was aimless, even though he had a purpose. Nothing, nothing as far as his efforts were concerned were moving him forward into achieving his goal. So, props to Dennis Camp and Ziegler for keeping the pacing on track. Now, I have an issue with the artist in particularly, Jonas Scharf. I don't know anything about this person as far as I have no gripe with them outside of just the art that is portrayed in this book. Um, I found it very annoying and almost uh, stereotypical that at times Miles is portrayed as this over dramatic teenager in some of the panels. And you can see from the expressions on his face that uh, this is something that I feel like is sort of being attributed to uh, him as a character, when from other books and even from Cody Ziegler's writing in on Miles Morales Spider-Man, that Miles is not this over the top, uh, uh, over dramatic, uh, just moody um, individual as far as like just his character attributes. And clearly, the artist is not in touch with uh, who Miles Morales Spider Man is um, as he's depicting him and drawing him throughout these panels. I found it again not only annoying but insulting. Uh, I know that Miles is still a teenager, and but it just there's something particularly like because of Miles' race and the background that he comes from, that I found this again to be very uh, cliche for an artist that seems to be doing such a great job with all the other characters. Now, I don't want to attribute it solely to race because um, Sharp does some of the other characters um, that are a part of this world, especially in Wakanda. He does them justice. But again, when I look through the panels, I see that um, there's not a lot of um, diverse. And when I mean diverse, I mean as far as like being able to um, deal with the textures of black skin, black hair, um, uh, features. Um, a lot. I feel like Shar falls back on a lot of uh, on mostly um, like problematic and again, like I said, cliche portrayals. Uh, these individuals, like in this issue, in this one particular panel, the dread hairstyle and being able to distinguish um, Eric Killmonger um, from Storm. It's just like how very similar. It's like he drew the same features, made one just a little less, um, I guess, like small, diminutive, but they could basically be exchanged for the same character, if not for um, noticeable differences like the hair color and again like the size difference between the two. Uh, and this heavy reliance on almost like that there's a trope in video games where there's a certain type of look for all black characters. I feel like in this issue uh, that the artist just fell back into um, common those commonplace um, appearances or features, and didn't really take a lot of care to distinguish uh, the characters that make up the world of Wakanda. But not to focus on that alone, I just I just found like the art took me out of the story, even though the story seemed to be shaping up to be pretty good. Another thing that was a bit off-putting is the hair um, drawn for Miles' sister. And you may say, well, I mean, why are you focused on the hair? To, I guess, the casual reader, a person that doesn't really invest a lot into Black Panther or into Black characters, period, these things would be, just fine, much ado about nothing. But it does matter, for lack of a better um, terminology, it does matter because uh, it is these things that will um, that show me as a reader how much research, how much time you really invested in making beautiful characters, whether white or black, um, being able to emote um, these characters between the pages. Um, I just found it again. It could have been done much better, and unfortunately, that's going to be the biggest ding I have against the book is that if you're going to combine these worlds, you have to really put in the work that is necessary to convince me as an enthusiast that I should care or continue to look forward to um, these works of art each month. Having said all that, I'm giving Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion #2 3 stars.
A bit? What you trying to get fucked?
Oh, no. It just grows in real thick when I don't get to hit the barber or whatever. But, I mean, if anybody does know where some hoes are, I wouldn't mind.
Nigga, the hoes are here on deck. I mean, I'm not a hoe, whatever, but I just feel like why would you grow that? What you trying to do to me? Are you trying to get your dick sucked by mistake or something, nigga?
Head by mistake.
Listen, if this is a setup, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're being very irresponsible coming in here looking like that. Cause if I call your bluff and give you that double-handed good, you won't know what to do with your whole life.
She's really not lying, dog. Like, she actually gives head when she's threatened. It's the stupidest superpower ever. Why you think I always try to
Get
fight
off
her?
his dick. It's just a beard. I can grow one anytime.
Well, then grow one with your hating ass, nigga.
I would, but I don't
Nigga,
feel
whatever.
like
You
it's
can't
no
grow one. That's
If
why
I
you're
can't
not
grow
going
one, I
to.
should have put
Talking all that
growing
shit.
one all
You just
the
mad because
time.
a
I
nigga
just
wavy
don't
right
brag
now.
about
Beard,
it,
that'd be a
big deal
stuff.
about
Robin got a
it.
bigger beard
Okay,
than you.
whatever. I'll have one tomorrow then, nigga.
Tomorrow.
Nigga, you heard me. I said
A whole
tomorrow.
beard.
I ain't gotta flex on
Nigga,
motherfucking
shut
Batman.
your lying
Your
ass
shit a lace
up,
front anyway.
Batman.
My shit gonna
Shit.
be jewelry.
Next up, Absolute Superman #9 with writer Jason Aaron and art by Rafa Sandoval. Initially, I had stopped reading Absolute Superman simply because I felt like the direction that Jason Aaron was taking with the character was a little beyond what I am willing to accept or view Superman as in this type of storytelling. In issue 9, we start off with Superman being injured by his only vulnerability that we know so far, which is kryptonite. This is not a spoiler. This is just one part of the book. But also, we get introduced further to the faction known as the Omega Men. Again, not a spoiler. And how they play a role in the Absolute Universe. What I'm finding overall about this book, again, there are things being brought over, maybe not brought over, but there are story devices used in the traditional DC universe that are included in this version of the DC universe. And they don't particularly strike me, or at least in the Superman book, they don't strike me as, wow, this is new, this is refreshing, this is a different take on this technology, on who these people are, and so forth. I do think it's interesting to see the role Aaron has placed Lois in. Although, if I really think about it, it's not that much of a creative departure from how she is in the traditional universe. In that she's a very independent woman, uh, capable of taking care of herself, not necessarily needing to be rescued by Superman. In this narrative um, that Jason Aaron has created. Now, again, there's a lot of history to Superman, so um, this version of Lois Lane is an evolution in a sense, but not so much in the modern uh, storytelling of Superman overall, as far as how we know uh, how that character is um, is written uh, presently. Um, Again, Ra's al Ghul makes an appearance in this book. Not a spoiler. If you read the issues leading up to this, you've already been introduced to who he is and what his goal is. Um, but the thing is, I guess um, one of the things I find that I'm resistant to is Aaron trying to uh, write Superman as this revolutionist, someone that is um, instead of like the Boy Scout that he's known for being in the traditional DC universe, where he's raised by decent people, so uh, he adopts these core values that make him a wholesome character. It's not that he's not wholesome in this book, but that's not what uh, Aaron seems to be shooting for. Uh, the in this in his writing or the depiction of Superman, he wants him to come off as um, this this symbol of the people, um, going up against um, big tech, going up against big corporations, going up against uh, uh, corrupt government, and in a sense, not making them political, but he is politicizing him to a certain extent because um, who else, I guess, is going to stand up for the ordinary citizen of Earth? Because remember, he's in this book. The title overall, Superman is aware he's an alien. He he's aware of his alien past as a child growing up on Krypton. So, uh, in a sense, he's adopted this. I guess this. It's not even a role, but he's adopted this framework that he can be a savior, but he's still reluctant to take a bigger part in changing the world as he believes it should be, as far as Earth is concerned. All that said, the art. What can I say about the art? Rafa Sandoval does a great job on the art. The art is not an issue with this book. It is dynamic. It is um, again, for this character, it's what it needs to be to give us a sense that Superman is super, if that makes sense. Um, but again, I'm just not. I'm just not rocking with the whole arc that Superman is here to save this world, and he doesn't even feel like a savior. Uh, it's more of just a rebelliousness against the machine uh, or systems, and I get it. Um, However, it's not working for me in this book. It's just not. Um, it just feels a little too. Um, eh, what's the word? It really feels anime almost in a sense. Not the political part, but just this uh, the character doesn't come off as being self-important, but just uh, reluctantly uh, unwilling to make a difference, if that makes sense. Uh, I wish that I could say something more complimentary about where the story for this title is going, but I really can't. I have no idea. Um, from what I've read so far, it's not something that will keep me interested or that I look forward to month to month as compared to some of the other absolute titles that have been released. Having said all that, I give Absolute Superman number 9 1 star. Our last book for review is Transformers number 22 with writer Daniel Warren Johnson and artist Jorge Corona. It's almost embarrassing to review this book every month just because of how good it is. If you're a long time listener of my reviews, you know that Transformers is that monthly title that is a must-have as far as for my collection. Um, the art, the writing, everything, the pacing of the story. There are just so many accolades I could throw upon this book. in issue 9, excuse me, issue 22 in particularly, this book keeps on throwing surprises at me. Issue 22 just shows Transformers, I believe, in a way that the cartoons could never have approached or touched, or for the fact of the matter, the movies in and of themselves. You, it's made me as a Transformer, a nostalgist, just appreciate more and more what great character diversity, just the personality differences between the different members in each faction, whether it be the Decepticons or the Autobots. I just can't give this book enough critical acclaim. I believe that what the Energon universe has done here is truly a marvel that I've just never seen in any of the other attempts. I don't even call them attempts. Any of the other creative mediums use to portray this world. Definitely get this issue. You're going to find out a little bit more about Megatron, and it's not a spoiler, but you're going to find out how there's more to him than probably the mustache twirling depictions that have been commonly assigned to him, or that he's been portrayed as. This issue will delve a little bit into that, a little deeper into that, a little bit, and that truly is the success of this title, is that I don't care about robot number 1 versus robot number 2. I actually care about these individual characters and how they've made themselves endearing to us as readers of the Transformers, just by what we know of their development, their backgrounds, personalities, and overall fit into this story's narrative. With that said, I'm giving Transformers number 22 5 stars. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video and what you'd like to see me cover next. And always remember, if you find yourself asking, why they do that? It's because it's comics, man.